Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for the invitation to participate in Argentina Mining 2010. Thank you, everybody, for your presence. I will give you a fast and brief panorama of mining in the province of Mendoza. First, we all know Mendoza has a rich mining history, has been a producer of strategic minerals for the mining development of the country. Mendoza has produced uranium, sulfur, iron, coal, and other base metals. We know that we have been the first uranium producer at national level, 2,500 tons. Mendoza generated more than 70% of that. If we go to the current times, today we have a production of third category minerals, basically oriented to the construction industry. There's a predominance of the production of aggregates, then gypsum and lime. We have a lower proportion of production of volcanic materials such as tuffs, clays, and ornamental rocks. Also, there's a production of second category minerals such as baritin and talc. Regarding metal minerals, you know the scenario of the province of Mendoza. It's a complex scenario. To our understanding, this can be overcome. When I talk about complex, I specifically refer to some elements of the current regulations that make it difficult to progress and to have the feasibility of carrying out the large number of metalliferous ventures in the province. We have a specific case of metal mining that has adapted its process to the current regulation, and they're in the stage of environmental impact evaluation for their mining. There have been some advances from the government fixing a date for a public hearing in the month of October. This depends on the results of some technical studies that are pending, and we understand that this is a great advance in favor of mining in the province. Once I have said this about the metalliferous mining, we must understand that Mendoza is starting to go into a road of a big change. From a couple of months ago, the Rio Colorado potassium project has started the stage of works. The Rio Colorado potassium considers the extraction of potassium chloride and will mean one of the largest private investments in Argentina, with approximately $4.5 billion. And I emphasize this because this is a mining investment in mining and in Mendoza. This is a complex scenario, but we think mining will continue developing in Mendoza. To talk more about the potassium project, they have all the permits required, including the environmental permits. The project is in Malargüe, in the south of the province, and it covers 5 provinces, not only the province of Mendoza. The deposit is in the province of Mendoza, where the mining will occur, where the reserves are, and in Mendoza they will locate the camp, the plant, and the construction of an electric line. In the province of Neuquén, there will be a gas project to supply this project. We will have a port, and in the provinces of La Pampa and Rio Negro, and in Neuquén, Mendoza, and Buenos Aires, they will see the improvement of about 5 800 kilometers of railroad and about 350 kilometers of new roads. Those are the components of the project, and the total investment will be $4.3 billion. And in 2010, the investment considers being beyond $300 million. The life of the mine today has been foreseen for 40 years, a minimum of 40 years, and the initial production will be 2.4 billion tons of sodium chloride. The employment that will be generated by the project is important for the province. In the construction stage, there will be 3,000 direct jobs in the province of Mendoza and another 3,000 distributed in Neuquén and Buenos Aires provinces. In operation in Mendoza, we have 600 direct jobs only in the mine. Well, without going into the details, technical details, I must mention that the drilling equipment to be used in the project are high technology equipment specifically designed for this type of leaching process, and they tend to minimize the environmental impact on the surface with the generation of less amount of locations. Many holes are drilled from a single location and the environmental impact is minimized. One of the most important aspects of this project, Rio Colorado Potassium, is an agreement signed by the province and the company. The company is Valle de Rio Doce, where the company has committed itself to make a contribution of 1% of the gross billing to the province. That contribution to the province will stay 100% in the province, and considering the initial production of 2.4 billion tons at the current price of the potassium ton, we would receiving 40 million pesos per year, only speaking about the initial production values. Then we will have another person that will talk in further details of the figures, but that amount will be distributed in 51% for the municipality where the plant is, and the rest for the remaining municipalities of the province. If we talk about the GDP, we have the quarries activities that represent 6% of the GDP of the province, and oil has about 14 to 16% of the GDP. With the Rio Colorado Potassium Project, the GDP for mining will be in 35%. With that, we believe that we will have the possibility of restate the vision with respect to the mining development. On the other hand, I also wanted to mention the case of the San Canelo oil region. This area is an area that was in conflict for many years in the province. Had been stuck for more than 10 years due to an habeas corpus presented by environmental agencies. That agreement was opened up, was solved, and consensus was reached for sustainable development. And in February, the public hearing was agreed. In May, the impact declaration was presented, and the company today is starting with its drilling work in the zone, a zone that had been highly questioned for oil activities. So I put this example because from the government, we believe that the Rio Colorado Potassium Project and San Canelo Project are clear examples, clear signs of the decision of the Mendoza government to reactivate the mining and oil activities in the province. An important challenge we have to face from the government today will consist on training the Mendoza population to make an adequate use of investments and the wealth to be generated by the installation of a project such as a potassium project, to have alternative productive businesses, to create parallel revenues, to show the population the benefits of mining. In the specific case of the potassium project, we have overcome different issues. First, there was a big questioning from the environmental viewpoint to this project. In second place, we had a questioning from the viewpoint of the economic growth that would be generated. Both issues have been solved. The first case through a positive public hearing, and in the second case through the approval of the agreement that I was commenting before. This agreement was approved in the Senate some days ago, about 1 month ago, with 31 votes in favor and 4 against, and that shows the increasing acceptance of mining in the province. We believe that as a government we have a third challenge, that is to demonstrate that society that the enforcement can work and in an efficient manner. In this manner, once the project is running and we can demonstrate that the government can work in a trustful manner, we can establish the basis to generate the change to have mining accepted as a development activity. Mendoza has great regions where the agricultural and livestock raising model predominates, but it's not fully adjusted to Mendoza. In many regions we develop mining, and that is almost the only driver of development. We want to point in that direction in the government for mining to be accepted not only in those regions but in regions that have other activities to coexist with. Mendoza has high mining potential. Let's think in uranium, gold, copper. We have a lot of work ahead. We want to use these resources in a rational and sustainable manner with the environment and the society. That is the message we wanted to give you from Mendoza, and we want you to consider Mendoza in your prospects. Thank you very much.